In this video, I'm going to explain the ending of the Black Ops 6 Zombies Terminus Easter egg, as I'm sure you have many questions after that shocking revelation that the Chaos storyline from Black Ops 4 Zombies that was never connected to Aether is now canon in the Dark Aether storyline. This is just such a hard thing to comprehend is actually now canon, and there's so much more to explain this map's story and the story going forward, so sit back, relax as I explain the entire ending. Now, in order to get to the ending, we first need to explain what happens during the Terminus Easter egg. Our main crew of characters are freed by both Dr. Peck and Maya, but Maya's sole motivations for freeing these characters is so that they can help her try to find her brother Nathan. During the Easter egg, we managed to find her brother, but we learned that a syndicate mob boss called Franco kidnapped her brother and sold her to a character called Dr. Modi, who is watching our characters from afar in a distant submarine, trying to make her get away from the island. It's revealed that Dr. Modi is the sole person responsible for creating this facility designed to experiment on humanoids using the power of Ethereum to make them more sentient beings that can be manipulated and controlled to do whatever the objectives of Project Janus are. Maya's brother Nathan was unfortunately one of those experiments, and when she finally reunites with Nathan, it's already too late. In retaliation to our crew destroying parts of the biolab, Dr. Modi threatens to leave the character stranded on the island and even attempts to blow up the island with the character still alive on it, while she makes off in a submarine with two incredibly powerful Ethereum warheads. Now, these Ethereum warheads actually go back to Black Ops Cold War Zombies, as originally during the first Outbreak Easter egg, Dr. Peck threatens to release two Ethereum warheads so destructive that it would change the outcome of the Cold War in an instant. Thankfully, with the help of Sergei Ravanov, Requiem Strike Team were able to launch these reality inversion warheads away from the West and instead dumped into the ocean, where 5 years later in the ending for Cold War Zombies, we see Dr. Peck pointing to travel to a map, being the location of the Terminus map and the location of where these reality inversion warheads ended up. Maya came here to save her brother, whilst Peck tagged along to try and retrieve his reality inversion warheads. Unfortunately, it was far too late for Peck, as several years prior, Richtofen gained knowledge of these inversion warheads, setting up the Terminus Island and assigning Dr. Modi as the head of the island's experiments, giving her free reign to use the power of the inversion warheads to commit whatever atrocities she could under the permission of Richtofen. Towards the end of the Easter egg, we managed to hack several satellite buoys with the help of an artificial intelligence created by Project Janus based off Samantha Maxis's mind. At the end of Cold War, Samantha Maxis sacrificed herself to save our world, and in the process, Richtofen used the source code of Samantha's mind to try and harness her Dark Aether powers. During the last parts of the Easter egg, the Samantha AI is actually helping us, but the crew we're playing as don't realize that she isn't actually the same Samantha. Nevertheless, following AI Sam's orders, we managed to control the submarine with Dr. Modi and bringing it back to the island, and during her encounter with our characters, the inversion warheads get consumed by Patient 13, a humanoid subject called Owen Guthrie, who had been exposed to more Ethereum exposure inoculations than any other test subject before, biochemically transforming him into this monster. Supercharged by Peck's inversion warheads, this mutated him into the biggest abomination ever seen on the island. Once the crew defeat Patient 13, the Samantha AI tells them to return to the guard station, where she lays down a plan for the crew to save Samantha from the Dark Aether. And this is where things just get absolutely bonkers. The Samantha AI opens a section of folders that are director's eyes only, explaining that Richtofen is obsessed with an ancient relic called the Sentinel Artifact. Now, anyone that is a longtime fan of Call of Duty Zombies would have absolutely lost their minds, because the Sentinel Artifact is an ancient item which belongs to a completely separate storyline in Call of Duty Zombies, going back to Black Ops 4 Zombies, known as the Chaos story. When this storyline was first conceived, it was a completely separate storyline to Aether, and the two were never going to connect. This story had a much more mythological approach, where maps and themes were based off certain gods of mythology, and the Sentinel Artifacts were created by a mysterious group known as the Nine in order to harness and protect the power of a substance called Prima Materia. Prima Materia is a substance that in the Chaos storyline was described as being the original material of primeval substance that created the universe. This mysterious group known as the Nine used Prima Materia to create various relics that were known as Sentinel Artifacts, each taking on the form of different mythological gods. Activating a Sentinel Artifact started a trial trial, completely transforming the environment of the world into a zombified one. And the individuals that activated the trial were permanently tied and bound to the boundaries of this trial, either until they successfully completed it, and if they failed, they would suffer permanent death. For the reward for completing a trial from the Sentinel Artifact was several pieces of Prima Materia's knowledge, giving you more information and knowledge about the future of civilization and Earth history. This completely separate storyline came to a cliffhanger in 2019 in the Zombies map Ancient Evil, and during the ending of Terminus, the two storylines are now connected. As according to the Samantha AI, Richtofen has recently learned about the Sentinel Artifact through documentation he learned from an amateur demonologist called Alistair Rhodes, who is the father of the main character in the original Chaos storyline, Scarlet Rhodes. This documentation was then also studied by another demonologist known as Gabriel Kraft, which is then connecting the Vanguard Dark Aether zombie story from back during World War II into 1990. Gabriel Kraft was a demonologist and studier of the occult, who back during 1944 took part in multiple expeditions across the globe, uncovering several mysterious runes. Each of these said runes were tied to a Dark Aether god, tying in the very beginnings of the Dark Aether storyline and the Battle of the Elder Wars that took place far before the events of Black Ops Cold War Zombies and Black Ops 6. The Samantha AI tells us that Richtofen believes the artifact is somewhere in the Principality of Avalon, and that Richtofen has hired a criminal organization, the French Syndicate, to try and find it. But it's during this that she mentions that Richtofen has hired the French Syndicate to abduct Gabriel Kraft for interrogation and finding the location of the Sentinel Artifact. And former associate Sergei Ravanov, now employed by the Syndicate, abducted Kraft on the orders of his new boss called Franco. These revelations are motivation for our Dark Aether crew to try and get their hands on this artifact in the hopes that it can bring Samantha back from the Dark Aether. What is beknownst to all of the characters is that Sam is completely lying to them. Richtofen isn't going to Avalon. We know in the intro cutscene for Liberty Falls that the Sam AI is the exact reason why Richtofen was sent to the Dark Aether. The Sam AI has already captured Richtofen, so there is no physical way that he is going to Avalon. For reasons that remain unknown at this point, the Sam AI is the culprit that started the outbreaks in Liberty Falls and Terminus. So what exactly is the Sam AI doing with our characters? Well, it seems extremely obvious that Sam is going to lead our crew to different locations to what they believe will help rescue Samantha from the Dark Aether, but instead only going to help this corrupted Dark Aether AI version for reasons we don't quite understand. So where could we be going next? Well, when the Sam AI reveals the top secret information, scanning the Project Janus classified files for director's eyes only, there are two folders that she keeps hidden. One is labeled Richtofen and the other is labeled The Keep. For some reason, the Sam AI is hiding truthful, genuine information about Richtofen from our characters and doesn't want us to see it, but is also hiding the potential location of the next Zombies map. Now, the Sam AI clearly mentions Avalon as a location for a Zombies map, which is very likely. But we've known from leaks from the past few months that Avalon was rumored to be the new Warzone map for Black Ops 6. But it's more likely that is now going to be a map for next year's Call of Duty Warzone. The fact that the location Avalon exists in the Dark Aether storyline and the rumored info about this being a Warzone map might insinuate that this could lead to some huge open world map as a future location. But a few months before the release of Black Ops 6, there was a Steam database leak that potentially leaked the code names of some future Zombies maps, and one of them was labeled The Keep, and we see a folder for The Keep here on this computer screen. As I pointed out earlier, The Keep and Richtofen are the only two folders that Sam does not open and show our characters. And I don't think Treyarch would have this folder right here in our faces if it didn't have some very important meaning as to what's happening next. Now, where and what could The Keep be? At this moment, we have absolutely no idea. But with the first DLC map releasing before the end of this year, we really don't have long to wait and find out. But that's the Terminus Easter egg ending explained. I'd love to know your thoughts, theories, and ideas about the story in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and managed to make some sense out of it, please feel free to drop this video a thumbs up. If you want to learn how to do the Terminus Easter egg or the Liberty Falls Easter egg, I have guides for both of them on your screen right now. Just click one and you'll be taken straight over there.